Good morning. You are watching an interview with the 2021 president of the South Florida or ACHE of South Florida chapter, Kenneth Wong, who is also a fellow in the American College of Healthcare Executives. Welcome, Kenneth. Nice for you to be here.
Thanks, Charles. Thanks for having me.
So tell us, a lot of people may be watching this for the first time, not really understanding, there's so many acronyms out there of ACHE and FHSE. So tell us a little bit about what ACHE is and what the local chapter means to the national organization.
Absolutely, I'd be happy to. And before we dive in, I want to thank you for your many years of service. You are one of the very few that has served as president of our chapter twice. You put a lot of years into service for the chapter, not just you personally, but your organization, South Florida Hospital News. So thank you for the partnership and the support throughout the years, including and up to now. So I'd love to give the audience a little bit of background about ACHE and ACHE of South Florida. So ACHE, ACHE is the American College of Healthcare Executives. It's been around for 85 years, a little more than that now, and is a professional organization consisting of about 50,000 healthcare leaders committed to improving health. Its vision is to be the preeminent professional society for leaders dedicated to improving health, and its mission is to advance members in healthcare management excellence. ACHE also sets the benchmark for board certification in healthcare management by offering the ability to earn fellowship status, which you touched upon. It's also known as the FACHE credential or Fache credential. So if you ever see Fache after somebody's name, it means that they're board certified in healthcare management and have met certain requirements and passed an exam that's offered by the American College of Healthcare Executives in order to become a fellow. There are 77 chapters, ACHE chapters throughout the United States. There are 4 here in Florida. And ACHE of South Florida is the largest chapter in the state. It includes 7 counties spanning from Martin County and the Treasure Coast down to Monroe. And its origins, you know this full well, date back to 1972 with the establishment of the South Florida Healthcare Executive Forum. And it wasn't until 2008 that the South Florida Healthcare Executive Forum actually became part of ACHE National, which is based in Chicago. Last year we went through a name change. I think that's worthy of mention because you might be confused. Okay, I hear South Florida Healthcare Executive Forum, I hear ACHE. Are they the same? Are they different? So the South Florida Healthcare Executive Forum last year became ACHE of South Florida after approval from the board of directors. So we've been going through a name change and a rebrand, which is carried through to this year. Hope that helps to clarify.
Right. But do also that the only change was name only. The whole mission and philosophy of the chapter going back to 1972 has always remained the same for healthcare executives in South Florida. So what's your role and background, and how did you become involved in this organization? And when did you become involved with this organization?
Sure, absolutely. Actually, to just back up a quick second, I want to get an idea of the breadth of the organization and its reach. I was looking at some numbers recently. I'm coming up on the end of my term. So as president, we serve a 1-year term on the board of directors with the chapter. And share something pretty amazing. Tenure. When we look at tenure for the organization, our chapter has over 110 members that have been part of ACHE or a member of ACHE National for greater than 25 years, which is amazing. So again, 110 members of our chapter that have been part of ACHE National for greater than 25 years. We have close to 70 individuals at the chapter level that have greater than 10 years of tenure under their belt. When we combine both of those thresholds, 25 years or more with membership with ACHE, as well as 10 years or more of membership with the chapter, we're close to 70, which is an absolutely amazing accomplishment, and I think testament to those individuals' loyalty to both the national organization as well as to our local chapter. So I thought that was pretty impressive. Right. And then we also have, about 120 fellows that are part of our chapter. And then we have 75 life fellows which is really sort of the ultimate goal. Once you become retired and have been a member for a certain number of years, 25 years or more, you then become eligible to become a life fellow. And we have about 75 of those in our chapter. So I thought some interesting membership related statistics to share with the group.
Sure, absolutely. No, that's great. And again, it just goes to show you that people, once they join the organization, they really put their heart and soul into being able to make sure that the next generation coming up understands what the organization's all about.
Absolutely. And then you had asked me how I got involved and what my background includes. So I actually think back to 2014, and that was my first introduction to the chapter and to ACHE. I was invited to serve on a panel. It was actually at Cleveland Clinic out in Weston, and I was asked to participate on a panel with two other healthcare executives from local health systems. One was from Memorial Healthcare System, the other one was from Cleveland Clinic, and I was asked to talk about patient segmentation and healthcare marketing. At the time, I was actually working for a Broward Health Hospital. My role involved marketing, physician relations, and community outreach. And it was from that first introduction to the organization and the chapter that I then began my path towards membership. So it was actually the following year when I was in strategic planning and business development for Jackson Health System in Miami that I met the criteria. I finally had met the criteria in order to become eligible to apply for membership. So I applied for membership. I became a member in 2015, I believe was the official start year, and became active. And then several years later, became part of the board of directors. Actually joined under your tutelage. You were serving dual capacity, if I remember, as education chair and incoming president, and asked for me to become involved. And I decided to take advantage of it and came in and oversaw our educational programming for 2 years, which I really, really enjoyed. And then from there, president-elect, and then this year, president.
Right. Yeah. And again, a lot of the people that come into the chapter go through a variety of different areas to truly understand the organization. So if you look over the past year, which has been a crazy year to begin with, in fact, it's been 2 crazy years to deal with, and you've been the president of the organization during one of the craziest years I think you can possibly think of, hopefully for a while. Tell us about the accomplishments, what you were able to accomplish during this year as president, as chapter president.
Sure, absolutely. I didn't address more of my professional background if you thought it might be necessary.
Sure, absolutely.
Okay, excellent. My role, because I get this a lot, especially coming off of our networking blitz the past couple of weeks, is, well, what's your background? What have you done? How do you get involved in healthcare? And my professional background has been a bit of a diverse one, but I think it's one that sort of lended itself to a very interesting perspective of the field. I landed in Florida about 15 years ago following a transfer request to escape the winters of the Northeast. And at the time, I was working for a well-known international pharmaceutical and medical supplies wholesaler. From there, I moved on to work in the pharmaceutical industry. I launched several drugs in the cardiovascular space. I also spent some time not too long ago working for a division of Johnson & Johnson and their infection risk management division. I had a portfolio of products focused on reducing bloodstream infections and surgical site infections. And also from there ended up on the hospital side in management roles. I touched upon them a few moments ago. Worked in marketing, physician relations, community outreach, physician recruitment, corporate strategic planning, and business development. So it's been what I call maybe a nonlinear trajectory compared to maybe others that have spent a lot of time in the field and maybe are part of the organization, where it's been strictly linear on the hospital side. Mine has been a blend. It's been a mix of both industry as well as provider side experience. So as I look at the past year, you're absolutely right. I can't argue with you that it's been very, very challenging. The pandemic, pivoting to virtual, it posed some challenges that, honestly, looking back 2 years or a year ago, I was hoping would be in the clear by the beginning of January of this year. I truly was hoping we would be in the clear and we could resume our normal activities, be back in person, shaking hands and doing things that we used to do. I'm not alone. There are a lot of other, of course, organizations that had wished for the same. But, I got to say, as I look back, I'm very happy and proud of what we've been able to accomplish, given that requirement to pivot. We, of course, were virtual for most of the year, with the exception of the last couple of weeks. We had a window of opportunity open up, and we managed to squeeze in a couple of networking events throughout Palm Beach, Broward, as well as Dade County. Turnout was phenomenal. It was great to see so many people. We hadn't seen each other, of course, in so long as a result of the pandemic. To get together in person was phenomenal. But as I look at some of the highlights that I'm most proud of over the past year, I think continuing to rebrand the chapter and continuing to focus on improving our website that was launched last year, holding the chapter's first new member orientation session, holding the chapter's first fellow advancement info session and Board of Governors exam review course. We established a finance committee. We offered over $15,000 in scholarships and awards to students and members, something I'm very, very proud of. And that is, of course, due in part to the contributions of our financial supporters over the course of the year. We added 2 new positions to our board. One of them is a chapter secretary. Another one is a position devoted to do diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging. So that was also a great accomplishment, thanks to the board of directors that approved that. We grew our chapter's LinkedIn following from about 900 at the start of this year to now well over 2,100. We have had amazing engagement through our LinkedIn presence. And when you talk about having to change our tactics to keep our members engaged, to show the value of membership, this is one of the ways in which that was done, and I think it was done very successfully. We've had close to 100 posts for our chapter over the course of this year, mostly promoting our members in one way, shape, or form. That's mostly been related to those that have achieved fellow status or life fellow status over the course of this year. You and South Florida Hospital News have also contributed a lot to our more in-depth spotlights, which you guys do a phenomenal job with. So all of these elements that have really helped us promote the chapter digitally has really done a lot to bring our level of engagement to an unprecedented level, really. We've had, when I last looked at the numbers, we've had over 250,000 impressions over the course of the year. That was as of month-end date November. So we're averaging about 25,000 impressions over the course of a month and averaging nearly 600 reactions. Mm-hmm. And if anybody watching this has not seen our LinkedIn page or doesn't follow us, I highly recommend that you do it. Please check it out, and you'll be able to see exactly what I'm talking about. You'll be able to read the testimonials that have been provided from our members, from our new fellows, why people get involved, why they decided to pursue the path to become a fellow. Please check it out and follow our LinkedIn page. Trying to think if there's anything else that I may have missed, but those are some of the most important elements that stand out to me in terms of accomplishments over the past 11 and a half months, Charles.
Yeah, well, I think at the very beginning, if I remember correctly, in the January, February, even March era, when everything really went digital and nobody was even walking out of the house at all. Very rarely even walked outside to even go to the supermarket. Everything was starting to be delivered at that point in time. Your education people did put on some great events and actually had at sometimes 200 or 300 people attending virtual events, if you remember correctly, the webinars. So that was, to me, and I think the reach from the chapter went way even beyond our local borders, because we were able to bring the chapter to almost anybody in the world. And we did have some good some national and international participation in those. So we did. It was a great job.
Yeah, I agree. And you had your hands in overseeing that and pulling some of those together. So thank you for that effort. Your last program was an amazing one where you pulled together some amazing executives from some of our local hospitals. And you're absolutely right. You raise a very good point. And being virtual did allow us to really reach beyond our service area. We did have people who were from Europe, I remember, from Canada, from some of the islands in the Caribbean that participated in our educational events as well as our networking events. So when you look at the opportunities, I think that being in a virtual world presented, breaking down those geographical barriers was one of them, because in years past, as you well know, people would not travel from northern Palm Beach County to Broward County or Dade to go to an educational event or a networking event. And now we were getting people from all over the place, as well as Central Florida, North Florida, West Coast of Florida. So yeah, you raise a very good point. Yeah, thanks for bringing that up.
But during the chapter year, a lot of chapters didn't do that, and one of the things that you put out there was to be able to not stop, and it didn't stop, and being able to do that. So I thought that was very good for a chapter to be able to, because at that point in time there were a lot of chapters just going dark. They did nothing. They did absolutely nothing at the very beginning of the year. Then everyone caught on to, hey, we can do this virtually. So I think by your leadership, it actually helped to be able to move forward and keep the things moving. So what would you do? Why would you encourage a healthcare executive, not necessarily a senior executive? They're kind of set in their ways to a certain degree. But the incoming, the junior executive, the mid-level executives, to really embrace and get involved with national and the local chapter?
Excellent question. Value. So the value of membership, it's multifaceted. I would say that for me, why I've stayed involved and what got me involved initially was the networking. It was the networking and it was the educational events. Those are really our pillars. It's great to meet people. You never know which direction your career is going to take you in. You never know. The world is all about networking. It really is, and you've done a phenomenal job of building, your networking activities in collaboration with us as well as independently. And I think everybody understands the value of networking nowadays. So that is one of the most important reasons I recommend that people get involved, because it's all about collaboration. It's about working together, and that's achieved when you're able to meet people. And then the educational event. I mean, whether you're an early careerist or you're in an advanced level within your healthcare career, the educational events that we offer, both at a local level as well as what national offers, are excellent opportunities to continue to learn. And we should always be learning. I'm a firm believer in that myself, always learning new things. And, the past 2 years have forced us to learn a lot in many different spaces. I'm sure that none of us maybe had expected that we would need to learn. But ACHE and our local chapter doing an excellent job of providing current relevant information necessary, I think, to succeed in the healthcare field. So those are two important aspects. If you're a student, the scholarship opportunities, our annual healthcare leader development case competition, what an excellent way as a student, both undergrad and graduate, to work with colleagues to present a case on a current topic and present that to a senior healthcare leader from our local ecosystem, to be evaluated, to be graded. There are financial rewards that are tied to that. It's really an excellent opportunity. Again, when you look at the networking opportunities that are tied to that, here's an opportunity to present your skill set in front of senior healthcare leaders, and you don't know down the road what types of doors that might open for you. So there are lots of benefits, but hopefully that helps describe a few of them. And if anybody wants any more information, and you don't want to take my word for it, I highly recommend, again, go to our LinkedIn page and check out all of the testimonials from the several dozen members that have joined the organization, that have been involved in the organization, that have become fellows. I really encourage you, read why they became members of ACHE, read why they decided to pursue the path that they did, and you'll get a lot of great, amazing answers, I think, that testify to the value that this organization provides.
And again, mainly for people coming into the field of healthcare, mid-level or even senior level that you've been around for a while but really never got involved with the organization. Now's a good time. And with that, you have today is towards the middle of December. So you have about 2 weeks left in what I would call your reign as president. And going through that, and it's as a two-time president and two-time, I guess, immediate past president, as we kind of spoke offline, that's probably the best position you can have as immediate past president. Tell us what advice you would give to an incoming president for this organization.
I would really stress continue to be member and mission focused. That's really been my theme for this year, is being member focused and mission driven. And we're a member based organization. That's really, I mean, that's what we're all about. And moving forward, this, not to say it hasn't happened in the past, but I think we need to continue to stay member focused, and that's celebrating their accomplishments, promoting them, through the various activities that we've talked about, the networking, the educational activities, but really staying true to the mission of both ACHE and our local chapter, which are the same. That's my tip number one, I guess. And then tip number two, I'd say let's really continue to try to increase engagement with our membership base. We're coming off of a membership, a call for volunteers. We had, I can't tell you how many people that have opted to volunteer for the chapter moving forward, and our incoming president in the midst right now of trying to pull those committees together. Get involved. And my advice to incoming or subsequent presidents, to my successor next year, bring as many people in that want to get involved, because that's really the lifeblood of our organization, and it's what helps carry us, is the involvement and the engagement.
That's great. That's great. Well, as we wrap up, people are watching this and they get to the end and they say, well, I'm really interested, but I have a few more questions. Can you tell them how they can get those questions answered? Where should they go? Who can they contact? Is there a general email that somebody at the organization looks at if they had a question, and if they can pick up that email address off the website?
Yeah, absolutely. So the best way, if anybody has any questions after this, please reach out to me. I'd be more than happy to connect with you and answer any questions you might have. And if I don't have the answer, I'll find it for you, connect you with somebody that does. But you can get in touch with me, Kenneth at acheofsouthflorida.org. That's Kenneth at acheofsouthflorida.org, or look for me on LinkedIn, or you can always send an email through our LinkedIn post, or our LinkedIn page, rather.
Oh,
but
great.
Best way is reach out to me directly.
Great, perfect. So with that being said, as we wind up this year, everyone kind of looking forward to 2022. Kenneth, I want to wish you happy holidays and a happy new year, happy and healthy new year. And we will see you when we turn to 2022.
Awesome. Thanks, Charles. Thanks for the opportunity. Always a pleasure.